Hello, Luke here. I would just like to take a moment to disclose upfront that we sometimes talk about sensitive topics in our podcasts, and in fairness to our audience, we will try our best to put specific warnings in the descriptions of each episode.
And Chuck here with a friendly reminder that the views of this podcast don't reflect the views and opinions of our lovely sponsors.
Now on with the show.
Another film by Michael Bay. A meteor's headed straight for Earth in exactly 18 days, and our plan is sending roughnecks into space to drill a fucking hole and drop a big ass fucking nuke. Rockhounds hating on some teens. Cut to another scene. Chick and his baby mama. Cut to another scene. Truman staying on the ground. Cut to another scene. Harry and his baby girl. We cut to another scene. Fuck! Why did you cut? I've never seen another film with so many cuts. Oh, Michael, I'm not having fun. Feels like I'm watching some reels. Roughnecks don't belong out on a big meteor. They're gonna keep on drilling on the big meteor. They're gonna keep on making shit in damn Hollywood. They're gonna keep on drilling on the big meteor. Big meteor.
Nice.
That was Pink Pony Club, Chaperone.
And welcome to the Nostalgia Killers podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky. I am Luke Lund, joined once again, almost as always, by Javier Martinez.
I am very, very excited and glad to be here.
And we are also joined by the fantastic, funny, talented Brandon.
Where am I?
Wilson.
What?
But it's the end of the world, and for some reason, Aerosmith dominates the soundtrack to life. Get ready for heartwarming heroics and baffling crew choices. For this week, we watched Armageddon.
Yes, we did.
And I completely forgot there was so much Aerosmith. Not just music, but the progeny. And,
some might say not enough Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those some, but I can tell you right now, rewatching this movie, I did not want to close my eyes. I did want to fall asleep.
Yeah. I looked at the runtime for the first time in my life. I never looked at it before, but 2.5 hours, man.
Is that how long that was?
Yeah, I didn't remember it being that long. I'll just say it right now. I didn't really think it felt that long, to be honest. But yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I'll admit, even before I finished the opening intro, I did get up before it ended and started doing shit.
Right.
Like, I just left it on my headphones and just started.
Right when the exciting stuff started
pretty
happening
much,
is when I pretty much checked out. I was like, okay, that was enough.
Just over and over and over. Be sure to stick around for the end of the podcast where we go over our Sonic Death Monkey Top 5, where for this week we're going to give our top 5 characters or groups that we would alternately send up to the asteroid to save humanity. And at this point, we'll give our honorary Sam Coughlin spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this movie, it came out in 1998. But yeah, let's jump right in. For me, I've told Javi and Chuck many times that this is one of the first movies I saw when I came back to America in 1998. This, Blade, and Saving Private Ryan. So these are like the 3 big ones for me that no matter how bad they are, they're always going to be good. And I still like it. I'm realizing how much this movie took the place of what should have been therapy for me. Like all the emotional cues and stuff that I should have been like experiencing for myself, I was just living through the movie.
There's a lot of that on this podcast.
That's why we're still doing it.
Hey, films, man. That's the power of film.
Yeah. How about you guys?
I have absolutely no recollection of this movie. I know I saw it. I know I watched it in theaters. Like, I think this was like a family event where we actually went out and did something. But all I could remember is graham crackers on Liv Tyler's belly. That's really it. Oh, and the fact that it's my favorite guy from Inside Herman's Head was in it.
Who was that?
Oh, golly.
I haven't seen that.
He's the big guy that was getting the tattoo. Inside Herman's Head was a bad TV show from back in
I remember
that
the show.
time period.
I don't remember him in it.
Yeah, he was one of the head guys. He was the chubby one.
Yeah, he was all around in the late 90s. He was on all kinds of shows and movies. A pretty name, though. Of course, as the consummate professional I am, I did not look that up.
His name was, I pulled up IMDb.
His name was Max in the movie, but I don't...
Yeah. So
Ken Hudson Campbell.
Ah, okay. I don't think I've ever ingested that name. How about you, Javi?
So this was probably the first Blockbuster movie that I saw when I came to the United States.
You too, huh?
Yeah. Which is funny because I probably didn't understand much of it at the time. My English was very limited.
How old were you when you came over?
6.
Okay.
6-ish.
Right. Yeah, I remember now.
5, 6-ish, yeah. So of course, as any 5, 6-year-old, I totally loved it. I loved just, watching the giant spectacle that it was, explosions and, self-sacrifice and whatnot. But yeah, then I kind of became a staple of... I was on my dad's rotation of films,
right.
Big Bruce Willis guy. So it was on there, saw it a lot. Probably haven't seen it in a couple of years. Not super long, but a couple of years since I last saw it. But I remember still loving it. And yeah, man, I had fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
So we'll get more into it, but I liked it. Big dumb movie. Big dumb fun dumb movie.
Yeah, it's a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have seen this 1,000 times, but I realized watching it yesterday, I haven't watched this in about 15 years.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
No longer in rotation for me. And I don't know if that's just an access thing, because I went ahead and just ordered I bought the streaming version of it. So now that it's just easier access, I don't have to find a DVD or dig up my old rips and stuff. So.
Yeah, until the streaming services decide that you don't own anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they'll all just disappear. All the thousands of dollars I've put into the movies. Yeah. Any favorite scenes that popped out for you?
So my favorite scene that I remembered was Liv Tyler and Animal Crackers.
It was just
on her belly.
A little picnic there.
Slipping down inside. He put a little blanket of panty over them.
Way down south.
I'm just saying, Ben Affleck, if you want ants, that's how you get ants.
Very much so.
Or maybe a yeast infection.
Yeah.
Mine's probably the most Hollywood scene in the film, but the crash of the Independence.
Okay.
When the ship goes down, again, despite all the classic, Hollywood goofs, like people getting sucked out and shit on fire, I don't know. It's exciting to watch. It's super fucking cool, man. And the effects hold up pretty well.
They do
for the most part. And again, I didn't really find myself laughing when like everybody's getting ripped out of the ship and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. That's pretty not graphic, but it's
pretty graphic. It's a little more horror filmy than I remember.
Yeah. And it's pretty intense. So I like it, man. It does what it's supposed to, I think, for me. So.
Right on. I was always just a big fan of Peter Stormare's character, the Russian.
The
cosmonaut. Anytime he's on screen was very memorable for me. Also, when AJ, they finally get that growler.
The armadillo.
The armadillo, yeah.
And they fly up to meet the other one to save the day and carry on drilling. It's like, yeah.
That was exciting. I do slightly remember that from my misguided youth.
And I miss Michael Clark Duncan. He had so much range from drama to being a comedic actor, which he did so well. Almost forgot he was in this, but I pretty much, when you say Armageddon, I think of Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
I forgot everybody that was in, other than Bruce Willis and Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, that really rememberable actor.
Yeah.
At least the 5th best Batman.
Yeah, exactly. If even that.
But watching the whole movie was like, oh, hey, it's that person.
Yeah, this cast is fucking stacked.
Yeah.
Like everybody's in it.
Yeah, this is one of those things where everyone who was in it went on to go do more things.
Yeah.
And, have many more films.
Except for the guy that was inside Herman's head. I think that guy's career was pretty much done at that point.
I think he got market corrected by Horatio Sands.
There you go. Yeah.
That might explain it.
Again, classic Hollywood, but Harry's sacrifice, when he pushes Ben Affleck back into the thing, and it's like, that's probably the best, like, Ben Affleck, like, that scene right there is probably Ben Affleck's best fucking performance ever.
Strangely enough, this is the greatest dramatic perforance for a lot of these actors.
It was very believable. Like, he did, like, just the emotion. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know,
definitely.
He's one of those guys that you forget, can really act sometimes just because of all the shit he does, but yeah, that was, pulled on the heartstrings, man. It worked. I was like, that's great.
I would say Bruce Willis too.
Yeah. The contrast there between
the drama and.
I thought Liv Tyler did a mediocre job. She's definitely a better elf.
Yeah, one of my nitpicks, which is the next section, but I'll just go ahead and jump into it. We do both. I realized watching it this time, she is purely nothing but the future trad wife icon.
Mhm.
She has no other role but to be sad and to lose and then be happy. And then I feel gross now.
She is there to marry who is essentially her dad.
Yeah,
Just a different version, a younger, hotter version of him.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, her own words too in the film. I think she pretty much says that too. It's like,
you make me walk around with roughnecks and be around roughnecks. Yeah, I'm gonna marry a roughneck, which sounds rough.
Yeah.
And neck.
I think Liv Tyler was the produced heartthrob for being probably a lot of our generation.
The funny thing about watching it is seeing Liv Tyler, and my brain immediately just went to, though, like, where's Alicia Silverstone at this time?
Right.
Like, because she was, it was her and her in the Aerosmith videos.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think another film Liv is in, kind of fell in love with her, and like she became the ideal, I guess you could say, is That Thing You Do. She has a much stronger role in it, and we'll cover that one eventually too. I hope so.
absolutely.
But yeah, she's a great actor and lovely. Ended up in the Lord of the Rings, which is great.
I was taken aback because there's this part of me, because I know it's probably not playing while it's happening, but like if she ever goes back and watches this movie and just be like, here's this very intimate scene, sexy scene with Ben Affleck and my dad singing over it.
Oh, it is playing when they're doing the.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like you think like there's something weird there. Like you think she ever regrets that moment.
Yeah, she was raised by a pretty weird dude. So I mean,
yeah. And as I recall, I'm not that familiar with them, but I think she was like pretty much detached from him from the time she was like 12 years old.
Yeah,
just they weren't like in each other's life. So
yeah,
other than name, they weren't really buddy or a strong family.
No,
so,
I think they were connected later.
I'm sure they did, but like during this period, I don't think
he was busy living that rock star life and
still
dating
doing it.
women
they
that
toured
were
last
her
year.
age, if not younger.
One thing that I enjoy / also am terrified is when, films have, things happen where for a split second you're like, that's ridiculous. And then you think about it and you're like, well, so I really like the scene where the president, gives the order to like remote detonate the nuke.
Right.
It's one of those things where like, we're just adding shit to this movie. And you're like, well, actually, that sounds like some shit that would fucking happen. And you're like, yeah, I figured you guys weren't going to, be able to do it. So fuck it. We're going to do what we do best and hope it works out.
We're just added like 15 minutes to the runtime. That whole little section
there's something about this movie. It is like you're just watching every single bad thing that could possibly happen the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I give the movie credit, like again, Michael Bay, right? Like that movie, once they established the characters, boom, here are these guys. All of a sudden, boom, it's like action. We need to do this. We need to get through this montage, and so it moves. It's a driving movie, which does make the 2.5 hours fly by a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. But it literally is just 2.5 hours of like, what's the worst thing that could happen in this moment? Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Let's alternate cuts to something happy happening, and then we'll go back to the sad part, and then these people are goofing off, and then we'll go back to the tragedy.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you mentioned that because I had that in my notes. Watching this movie, it reminded me of there was a young man that I used to work with. He was very pessimist, and he would always be like, "Oh, Newton's law," and he would always, "Oh, Newton's law," everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Newton's law. And, one day I like pulled him aside and I was like, hey, I just want to make sure, you're not using that correctly, right? And he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, that's Newton's law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And I'm like, no, not quite. And I'm like, for every action, there's a reaction. And he was just, his mind was so blown. He's like, what do you, I just sit there and explain it to him. I'm like, it doesn't mean that, everything, all this bad shit's going to happen is, and like, he was just like, because he had lived his whole life with this idea in his head that that's what it was. And I was watching this movie and I'm like, holy shit, I think Michael Bay is in the same mindset where he's like, oh, every action has a reaction. So it's just like, anyways, but.
You may have been confusing it with Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law.
Okay,
Murphy's Law is the one that anything that can happen will happen at the worst possible time.
Okay, well.
But yeah, it's, I can see how they get confused.
But anyways, I get a good laugh at it.
Bad thing can't happen.
Well, it worked for the script, so it kept it hopping.
Again, I did not want to close my eyes. I might have missed something, and I didn't want to miss a thing.
Well, I really enjoyed seeing Eddie Griffin again. Where's that guy?
Right.
I miss him a lot. I wish he kind of came up with Chappelle and them.
Yeah.
and was still around. Like he was a softer Cat Williams.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of those actors that was just like everywhere, little part in everything.
Yeah.
I think he got pushed out by Chris Rock.
Yeah.
They had similar vibes.
I think Eddie Griffin did Deuce Bigelow. That was like the last big thing.
Oh, that poor man.
I know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So, and then tying two of the people that we mentioned together, Eddie Griffin is listed in the opening credits. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I did remember. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's only in this for like 30 seconds. And then I watched it. I was like, oh, he is. But Michael Clark Duncan is not in the credits.
Oh, weird.
Which is fucking wild.
Well, at that time, Eddie Griffin was a much bigger name.
Oh, sure.
Pool.
You know, but again, it's not even like a, with Eddie Griffin and Eddie. It's literally just in the stack of like the first like 10 names. His name comes up. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no, you could easily pull in a bunch of people just by mentioning Eddie Griffin's name, saying he's in a movie, and like everyone will go watch it.
Is he in a movie with Kevin Bacon? How many 5 people do I have to get to Eddie Griffin? Kevin Bacon.
I kind of forgot how much of New York gets destroyed.
Oh, geez, yeah.
And this is pre 9/11,
Mm-hmm.
and how maybe this is why I haven't watched it a lot since.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing that definitely stuck out. I'm like, oh, hey. There's the Twin Towers.
Yeah, they got a shot of it like on fire.
And
I was like, ooh.
I know I've flicked through TikTok and watched someone's 9/11 video showing that footage from Armageddon.
Yeah.
It was just weird, little jaunting the soul there, you know.
Yeah. The scene with their list of demands. It's so fucking funny. I love it.
Funny.
I love it.
Who remembers Noonan? I completely forgot.
The one guy, you mean the guy that's not in the movie?
I forgot, but he is. He lives. He makes it to the end.
No, he doesn't. No, he does.
Oh, no, he does die. But he has lines.
Yeah, he does. I didn't remember having a single line.
And this is the last movie that guy made.
Which one was Noonan?
Exactly. The kind of, he looked maybe Hispanic or maybe a little Arabic.
Huh.
But he's the guy who wanted the 2 women to be brought in.
Exactly.
I was
exactly.
looking him up today and like, I don't remember this guy in the fucking movie. And he's been nothing since, which is probably why. Didn't know who he was before. He's only been in like 8 movies. He's more of a musician. The last name's Brawley. He's got this weird long British name, but he's not British.
Is he Saiyan? Like Super Saiyan?
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Brawley is a Saiyan name.
Yeah, I think they were just, looking at their cast and they were like, hey man, you got 9 characters in this movie and they all survive. And someone was like, well, what if we had 10? Okay. Well, we don't have any money left over. I got you.
Yeah, I got a friend.
I think my favorite thing after watching this movie again is Steve Buscemi's descent into space dementia. Like the fact that they just called it space dementia.
My God.
Like there could have been other things they called it. Like it just harkens back to an episode of Ren and Stimpy for me.
Space Madness.
They want my ice cream bar.
It's the best Ren and Stimpy episode.
Can you see him?
I would argue.
Can you see the crowds?
Yeah, I always think of that too. And everything I watched, I didn't study for the movie, but all the behind the scenes stuff, that's the William Fichtner's, he's that one delivery of him staring down the camera. He's got space dementia. That's the one everyone laughs at now. So, it's just a great shot, a great scene. I mean, I still laugh my ass off at it.
It's fun, man. It's fun.
And like he waited that long to diagnose him with that.
Yeah.
He's doing crazy shit the entire movie.
Well, he did not know him that well. He could have been doing crazy stuff before he got on the thing.
All right. Let's go on to our rainy day pairing.
I'm going full doomsday. Maybe it's just a week I've had. Day after tomorrow.
Ooh.
I'm going to go total global destruction again with really bad CGI wolves.
Yeah.
If I'm going down this trail of like, here we have a movie that's about man is going to be destroyed by something that they can't, fathom.
Right.
And then the real existential threat of what we're doing to our planet. I'm going into a depression hole.
Yeah.
A D hole.
A D hole.
I take it right in the D hole. Yeah, I stand by that.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of similar. I went through a bunch of space movies when I was thinking of this, but I landed on Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Which is still one of my favorites, just as far as sci-fi goes.
Yeah.
As far as ridiculousness goes.
I can't remember if I said it on the episode where we did this one, but I have The Rock.
You watch The Rock again?
I want to watch The Rock again, man. I just thought, I was like, man, I want to watch The Rock.
Not even going to explain himself.
Not even going to explain. Give me, Michael Bay at his best, man.
We'll go on to this movie's cocktail, which is provided tonight by Spaceman Spiff Javi here.
Yeah. And considering we're all still talking, nobody's been poisoned yet, so far so good.
Yet being the key word.
For today's drink, we have the Animal Cracker Foreplay. We got 1 ounce of vodka, 1 ounce peanut butter whiskey, half an ounce Irish cream, 1 ounce simple syrup, 3 ounces of coffee, and 4 ounces of an unnamed pepper soda. Shake that, pour it over some ice, garnish it with an unused animal cracker free of bodily fluids, or don't. Sip and enjoy your last night on Earth with Liv Tyler as we pray for our questionable heroes to succeed in nuking the fuck out of an asteroid.
Very nice, Javi. It's very tasty.
Well, now that you mentioned bodily fluids, now I'm wondering what the white foamy stuff on top was. Thank you, Javi, for putting that into my brain.
And with that, we'll go on to our first ad break.
Ad break?
Done.
Is there anything better than rewatching your favorite movie? How about rewatching it with a cocktail made from Charbet spirits? Since 1983, Charbet has been making award-winning spirits as unique and dependable as your favorite movie. Charbet Distillery, Ukiah, California, 21 and older. Please drink responsibly.
And we're back with Act 2, everyone's favorite, the trivia section. It's time to find out if our guests have what it takes to drill through this tough steel-plated trivia before this podcast reaches the zero barrier. Question number 1, true or false? At the time of its release, this was the Walt Disney Company's highest grossing film ever.
You know, I'm going to go with true on that.
I want to go true too, but I'm going to say false.
It is true. $533 million, not adjusted for inflation.
Jeez.
Good for them.
This was Touchstone, though, wasn't it?
They were under the Disney banner.
Was it?
They were owned by Disney at that point, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm. Question number 2. True or false? At the time of its release, Armageddon was the most expensive film ever made.
False.
True.
It is false. It was that was the third most expensive film ever made after Titanic and...
Batman?
No, Luke. Waterworld.
Oh, Waterworld.
Yeah. Titanic was $200 million. Waterworld was $172, and this was $140.
Okay.
For Kevin Costner.
Question number 3. Which one of these actors was considered for the lead role? A. Arnold Schwarzenegger. B. Will Smith. C. John Turturro. D. Bill Murray. Or E. Mel Gibson.
I'm going to go with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mel Gibson, too. He's the only roughneck out of them all.
None of you got it. It is, of course, A. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold.
Of course.
You're trying to pull this kind of emotion out of Arnold.
Get in the shuttle.
Yeah.
AJ, you slept with my daughter. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't think he would have missed with that shotgun shooting at Ben Affleck.
Would have been a quick movie.
Question number 4. After reviewing some of the early footage filmed, Michael Bay noticed an imperfection on one of the actors that he thought would be very distracting to the audience. So the imperfection was fixed, completely paid for out of the budget. What was it? A. Liv Tyler's lips were too thin. B. A beauty mark above Liv Tyler's left breast. C. A benign cancer mole on Steve Buscemi's nose. D. Bruce Willis's earlobes drooping too low. Or E. Ben Affleck's teeth.
I would go with Ben Affleck's teeth.
Just for the sake of argument, I'm going to go with the thing on Steve Buscemi's nose.
It was Ben Affleck's teeth.
Yay.
He had what Michael Bay called incredibly small baby teeth.
Yeah, I noticed.
Which I did look it up, and I was like, oh shit, wow, he kind of did.
His teeth this time, like watching him, because it's way different from A Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, so they give him big pearly whites.
Different set of chompers, yeah. He's got and they're straight. There's no...
Yeah. Bonus question. How much did it cost to fix them?
I'm going to say $25,000.
100,000.
20,000.
Ooh.
Which is wild.
I have no
idea. Especially back then, I feel like that's a lot.
I have no idea how much teeth cost.
I mean...
I'm pretty sure they're just veneers, but even on a big-time actor, a big-time production, I would imagine them blowing like $100K.
Question number 6. The dog in the opening New York sequence was trained to specifically destroy Godzilla toys on site. How much did it cost to have the dog on set per day?
25,000.
800.
As much as Ben Affleck's teeth, it was 20,000.
Holy fuck.
So you're pretty close. You can take it, man. Yeah, and it was crazy. It was like they had to actually have the Godzilla toys covered up because the second they took the cardboard off, the dog just lunged at him, was ripping them off. Yeah, and they contacted dog training agency. They were like, "Hey,
that's insane.
We need him to destroy anything looking like a Godzilla toy."
That poor dog's existence, like,
he's scarred for life.
Yeah, just
I couldn't find out how many days it was on set, but
yeah,
20K per. They said per day, so I imagine it was at least 2. Question number 7. Ben Affleck questioned Michael Bay on whether it wasn't actually easier to train astronauts to be drillers rather than to train drillers to be astronauts. What was Bay's response? Was it A, you're an actor, what do you know about NASA training? B, shut the fuck up. C, Bay was offended as his grandfather was an oil driller and he took that as an insult. D, he agreed, but he also said they were too far into production to make changes.
My instincts is always to tell Ben Affleck to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's famously B.
It is B. You both take a card. Yeah, he said shut the fuck up, and that was literally the end. Ben Affleck said that was the end of it.
Yeah,
he walked away and he didn't let him bring it up again.
I've got better things to do than to worry about some actor's willful suspension of disbelief.
Oh, I laughed my ass off watching it this time. When they're in the hangar looking at the drill, there's a scene between Billy Bob and Bruce. They're constantly trying to justify sending up the drill crew. Mm-hmm. And there's like, at any time during that conversation, both of them are acting their ass off because they're both thinking, why the fuck would I send these yokels up to the asteroid with all this expensive gear?
I know the answer is because Bruce Willis's character has drilled everywhere and can drill anything. I don't think that was a euphemism for his sexual prowess.
Yeah.
Question number 8. This was Michael Bay's first PG-13 film. What scenes had to be cut out in order to achieve that? A sex scene between AJ and Grace featuring partial male nudity from Ben Affleck. B, the scene where the FBI picks up Rockhound was originally in a brothel instead of a bar, with Rockhound asking the woman writing him if she was actually 18. C, the crash of the Independence featured a lot more blood and gore, including Owen Wilson's character getting impaled with space debris. D, a subplot revolving around Harry struggling with heroin addiction, and various parallels to drilling. E, none of these. F, all of these.
My instinct is the male nudity.
Yeah, same here.
But they got Ben Affleck because they can see his butt. They want to do like one of those glorious butt in the moonlight shots.
Van Damme shots, yeah. It is none of these. Sorry, guys. Just made all that shit up.
Nice.
Michael Bay had always intended this to be PG-13, following the success of films like Mission Impossible and Titanic, and wanted a film that both intellectual adults and teenage audiences could enjoy together.
However, you gotta justify it, Bay.
Question number 9. Even though it was released just a year earlier, Titanic had a big influence on this film. What influence did it have? A, the FX studio that worked on Titanic was brought in last minute to redo most of the CGI. B, Bay had wanted Titanic actor Bill Paxton to be cast in Chick's role without an audition. Due to a miscommunication, the role was offered to Will Patton. C, Bay loved that Celine Dion did an original song for Titanic and was very upset that they had no original music for Armageddon, so he demanded the studio make a ballad of comparable caliber. Or D, the popularity of the romance in Titanic amongst teenage girls led to Bay requesting a romantic subplot be written to the film.
I'm gonna go with the ballad.
I know, I really want to use the music thing too.
Yeah.
It is D, the popularity of the romance in Titanic amongst teenage girls.
So that's why it does feel shoehorned in.
It is. It was absolutely last minute. They rewrote those. They wrote in those characters. They weren't in the original. Ben Affleck was brought in, I think, even later than Bruce Willis, because Bruce Willis was brought in late as well.
What the fuck would have been the point of the movie? Oh my god.
Bruce Willis would have survived, maybe.
It would have just been a bunch of dudes. Oh god.
Yeah, Bay said, I'm basically making Titanic without the romance. I should put some romance in there. I just made Titanic 2, baby. Replace the iceberg with an asteroid, the Seaman?
Sinking spaceship.
Yeah, that's fucking disturbing.
All right, final question. The cuts in the film last an average of how many seconds? A, 10 seconds. B, 6.5 seconds. C, 1.5 seconds. D, 3 seconds.
D.
I'll go with 3. Yeah, D.
It is C.
C.
An average of 1.5 seconds.
God damn.
Just fucking insane.
All-
And it's a 2.5 hour fucking movie.
Dude,
Holy
All done in 1 second at a time.
shit.
Yeah, if you can imagine having to do that many setups for all those shots,
Yeah.
and they're just, yeah.
No, and I had never noticed it until this. This was the first time
That's all Michael Bay movies.
that I
If you watch
but
The Rock, same deal.
this has got to be, I don't know, it was
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
I was sitting there,
That's
I was
just, he kind of, I don't know if he picked it up from someone or he introduced this style himself. But after this, Hollywood, every movie had to do the same thing. They were clocking how long shots were lasting in movies and edits. And like
Jesus.
they're using the clock rather than the emotion or the story to speed it up. It influenced everything after it, or it ruined everything after it, or I don't know.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It changed everything for sure.
Right.
You know?
And eventually somebody had to put emotional depth back into it. Right? Like,
You would hope so. I still don't think...
it wasn't Michael Bay.
No. I mean, I cried in Transformers 5, but... I'm not going to tell you where.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It might just be the glare in my spacesuit visor, but
I think Brandon has,
looks like you got it.
taking this show. I got 2.
I mean, I almost got it straight.
well, congratulations. If we ever need to nuke an asteroid, you'll be the first person
Yeah.
I recommend for the job.
You're hereby drafted.
Do you know any Aerosmith songs?
I'm just going to asterisk Duke an asteroid. If you need somebody to take a dump on an asteroid, I'm your person. I do know some Aerosmith. I do.
Perfect.
It's a dude looks like a lady.
Did they make anything after 1985?
Yeah.
I don't think they put out a new record. I think they just did their classics and sang the same fucking songs from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. I feel like they recently...
No, they definitely at least like 03, 04 they released something. At
they?
least, yeah.
Okay. I don't pay attention to them. I have no idea, but I don't remember them coming out with anything new from... Made some records in the 70s and like rode that wave for their entire
Let's
career.
see here.
Yeah.
Well, they made the Essential album.
Greatest Hits 1 and 2.
Honkin' on Boba, 2004.
Ah, yes, I knew it.
Are there any songs we know from it?
Let's see here. We've got Roadrunner, Shame, 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 Eyesight to the Blind, Baby, Please Don't Go, Never Loved a Girl, Back, Back Train, You Gotta Move, The Grind, I'm Ready, Temperature, Stop Messing Around, and Jesus is on the Main Line. That is all the tracks from Aerosmith's Honkin' on Boba. Honkin' on Bobo. 2004. It's a 20-year-old album.
Good Lord. Okay. Oh, that satisfies my curiosity. Thank you very much, Javi, for doing the trivia. And at this moment, at this time, we'd like to thank our executive producers. Thank you, Addie Martinez, for forgetting that you've signed on to Patreon and give us $15 a month. If you, too, would like to be an executive producer and have your name shouted out on the show, you can help us on Patreon, patreon.com/The Nostalgia Killers Podcast. For $15 a month, you can be an executive producer. There are new tiers. It used to be $5 a month for special access, but now it's $3. And starting in the new year, we're going to start releasing our shows on Patreon. So they will be on Patreon only for 2 to 3 weeks, and then they will be available to all the rest of you fuckers.
Yes.
That's happening there. But the other great thing that Patreon has started, there's a 7-day free trial for all of the tiers.
It's about time.
Wow.
So you can go on there now, go and look at our back catalog of all of our post shows and other shows and stuff that's on there. I'm going to start posting all of our shows to Patreon, and it's just going to be the place to go to see everything, absolutely everything. And they've also instituted this thing, much like I believe OnlyFans started, but you can buy a post. So we can set, like, if there's one post you want to watch, you don't have to subscribe. You can just buy it one time for like $2 to $5 or whatever and listen to it, that one thing. So
if you're like, I don't give a fuck about any of these, but
I heard my name.
I love Armageddon.
I heard y'all were talking shit about me in this one episode, so I need to.
Michael Bay might just join just to...
Very much. But yeah, that's some pretty exciting stuff coming down. Yeah, all of our upcoming giveaways. Cards, our cocktail book, a very fancy skateboard.
It's a thing.
Let's hurry up and take our second ad break before I can dig myself any deeper.
Ad break.
Deciding on what movie to cover next on the podcast takes thought, but deciding on what vodka to drink? That's a no-brainer. Charbet vodka has a pure, smooth, crisp taste that's perfect for cocktails or straight up on its own. Charbet vodka is a product of Charbet Distillery, 21 and up. Please drink responsibly.
And we're back with Act 3, the award categories, where we start off with my new band name. Actually went all Chuck and I have like 4.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was gonna say, yeah, I pulled the Chuck too, so I'm down to go last because I got an artist album and I got artist and an entire 5-track album. So
Nice.
So I'll let you guys go because I don't want to take all your guys' ideas.
Yeah.
No.
Did you get one, Brandon?
Yeah, my top one that I heard was It's Pucker Time. It's a ska band, obviously. It's pucker time. You know, they gotta blow those horns with their puckered lips. Totally not talking about, puckering your anus at all.
It's more of a song name than a band name, but you ever see Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a little ironic because Bruce Willis and Steve Buscemi are in this film, and they're both in Pulp Fiction.
That's right.
Cool. So I got my artist. He's a country act, and it's Crazy Willie. Did Crazy Willie put you up to this? Sir, I'm afraid I don't know Crazy Willie.
I couldn't remember if that was supposed to be a Bill Clinton reference, even though they use a fictitious president in this.
Slick Willie. This is a hit new hardcore metal band. They're called basically The Worst Part of the Bible.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I never analyzed this film watching it, but I was expecting much more religious stuff in it.
Right, being named Armageddon.
Being named Armageddon. They talk about the Bible. They talk about that stuff, but they don't ever preach anything, which I thought was pretty masterfully done. They brought it in without making it cringy.
I appreciate that. I didn't even really notice, but that's...
Yeah,
because it could have gone super...
It could have gone really right-wing Christian.
My album by Crazy Willie is The Only Black Man in South Dakota, parentheses, on a hog.
On a hog.
Oh, man, I fucking lost it.
I got one it's not a quote, but it's an ironic punk band. It's called Steve Buscemi's Orthodontist. And I love Steve, with all my heart. But we didn't need that many close-ups of him chompers, man.
Oh my God.
He's got I don't remember which cartoon made fun of him. He's got teeth coming out all different directions out of his face.
Yeah.
How about the hit single from basically The Worst Part of the Bible? Independence is a Dead Stick. It's a little lengthy, but it's a good song title for a metal band.
For sure. I wonder if there were any Armageddon-inspired bands.
Ooh.
We've had a few movies where bands have directly pulled their names from movie quotes.
I mean, technically, every Aerosmith cover band is.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
I got the first 5 tracks of my album. Can I say that?
All right.
Track 1 is Mr. All Go, No Quits, Big Nuts, Harry Stamper.
Big Nuts, yeah.
Track 2, we got Dottie, the Vicious Life-Sucking Bitch, parentheses, from which there was no escape. Track 3, Semantics of a Cracker. Track 4, The Ballad of Ol' Horny Rockhound. And track 5, Raised by Roughnecks.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of memorable lines, but nothing I quote daily. But probably now, I'm probably going to use that Big Nuts thing a lot.
That's a good one. Bring it back.
All go, no quit, Big Nuts, Harry Stamper. Yeah.
Space dementia.
Who
wouldn't have put that?
Yeah, I tried to work that into a band name too.
I've got one more. It's a pop punk band. They're just called Immature Father.
Yeah.
There you go.
Immature father.
Yeah.
Pop punk.
For those of you listening, if it wasn't mentioned already, I am wearing.
He showed up in his spacesuit. He's got NASA patches and everything.
Yeah, bought it 3 years ago. Definitely a little tight, so it was hard for me to sit up and put my drink down.
Yeah, I wish I'd have known. I would have set up a camera, dude. This is like as big as our Kiss.
Yeah. That's right.
We'll go on to our Roger Deakins Would Be Proud Award. Would Be Proud Award for cinematography. Probably an overload of eye candy. But did you guys have any special scenes or shots that really stuck out to you?
The only thing that like made me stick out for this particular question is it was the scene where they're telling them to, they called in the president and we're going to do the bomb. And then all of a sudden there's this moment of like, Billy Bob Thornton, like, looks at his right-hand man, is just like, to cut the thing, like whatever. And like during that sequence, there's like four or five in a row of just like out of focus, in focus. Here I am, I'm in focus, and then out of focus again, and the person that I'm talking to is like, it just goes 1 second at a time. And that was, there's some really nice shots in the movie, like every single time they looked out the space window. But that caught my eye. I like the unfocusing. Made me physically ill.
I did notice all of Michael Bay's key tricks.
Isms, yeah.
Spinning camera, low angle shots, looking up at people. It's just, I don't have a specific one, but it's just very prototypical Michael Bay. Everything before, he did Bad Boys before this, right? It was 96.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where he started setting that shit up. And then this one was just like, it's perfected here. And then it follows in every other one of his movies. But yeah, that's what I got. You got anything, Javi?
So after the nuke goes off and it blows up the meteor, the view of people when people are looking at it from Earth, and it's just like a big blue, like gleaming light in the sky. That was really cool. Because I did think, when you see it in space, I'm like, okay, that's very like Hollywood, very like blah, big explosion, shit flying everywhere. But then it cuts to the people on Earth and it's just this little blue shiny dot. And I'm like, wow, that looks fucking good. I like that. And then a fun little nauseating one is after Ben Affleck, his character AJ, breaks off the lever in the space station, and they're like, pull the lever. He's like, this is the lever, and like the camera like rotates like upwards. It's like a
reverse vertigo.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I thought the effects held up pretty well.
Yeah,
I didn't notice anything out of place. I wonder if they did most things practical.
Not that I saw. Well, a lot of the sets are practical.
Yeah, but there's going to be.
There's definitely a lot of CGI though, but it holds up.
It does really well. Yeah. I didn't notice anything big.
There's like one or two shots of like the space shuttles that look kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but
this goes into one of my other nitpicks is that the shuttle's flying around as if there's atmosphere. Like there's doing dives and shit.
That was a big question in my head. I'm like, do space shuttles do that?
No.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Sorry. Talking about the practical effects, like the one thing that I noticed was like the destruction, like whenever they blew up a house or whatever, with the meteors. It was every time I see that stuff and I recognize it, all I hear in my head is Monty Python. It's only a model.
Yeah, I purposefully didn't do any research because Javi was doing the trivia, but now I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to see what they did for effects on this. I was not taken out of the movie in any way because of the effects.
Definitely not.
Which is what happens when they fail. So
the only thing that takes me out of it is like I have to question whether or not little tiny meteors like that would send cars flying on fire in that way. But again, Michael Bay.
I feel it would probably just put a hole through the car.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So many cars just randomly flying through the air. Like, oh, well, there goes another one.
On to, is that Channing Tatum in a Dog Collar Award for cameos? There's a lot of them in here.
There's a lot of them. I'm gonna take a different perspective because again, a lot of cameos. But the first thing that actually popped out in my head, screenplay, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I did not know that. I was just like, oh, this is what old boy was doing back then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was exciting. I was just like, okay, J.J. Abrams, that's a name I recognize.
Yeah.
Tony Gilroy, too. He's a big name, too.
JJ, a lot of people don't know specifically, but he's also a product of the film system. He was never not in it.
Like he's like one of the Olsen twins?
Kind of, yeah. He's like always been in the system, like M. Night Shyamalan. Everyone thinks like they built their big name on these movies they've made, but they've really just been given these slots. Same with Burton.
Yeah.
Also just grew up in the system.
I've just always assumed that Disney was growing people in labs.
Right, yeah. That's pretty much what they did. Kurt Russell, too.
Right.
Kurt Russell's been in TV since he was 9.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Also Disney.
Yeah.
Ron Howard.
Yep. Yeah.
Opie Cunningham.
Also, yeah.
I had Shawnee Smith, who is the girl that Rockhound is talking to in the bar, the redhead. I think they get a ring or something like that. Yeah, that is Amanda from Saw.
Okay.
Yeah. So I recognize her
She's
immediately. Big Saw fan, so I was like, oh shit, Shawnee Smith.
She's in a few other movies from that time too.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember her name.
And then, other than the super obvious ones, I had one more. I had, of course, Udo Kier.
Udo, yes.
That fucking dude. Again, I thought we talked about it. He was in Blade, right?
Blade, yeah.
I was like, anytime I see that guy, I'm like, yeah.
Well, I got Michael Bay. Did you guys see him?
Oh,
in there?
right. He's one of
the long-haired
NASA
scientist.
Okay.
And then we're switching the Hubble. That's him. And he's got one more shot where he's looking at a chart or something.
Is somebody called out that day? Or he just wanted to be in his own movie? Like
I don't know. I think he was figuring out whether or not he wanted to give himself cameos in his movie that early on. Hans Gruber Deathfall Award. Anybody get some?
I found it satisfying that you call this the Hans Gruber the Hans Gruber Award or whatever, and that there was an actual Gruber that died in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I found that very satisfying.
Yeah, it happens every now and again.
And he like kind of played the villain almost, like he was totally with the dude with the gun, and but then like changed his song.
Yeah, not too many villains in this.
No,
not too many satisfying deaths. Everyone's kind of the pilots were pretty gruesome. I was wondering. I'm thinking now what I know about spaceflight and everything, which is still just passive, not much. But why, when they were heading into the asteroid, why wasn't everybody already in their spacesuits?
Right. Well, I think that was because they left the space station in a hurry.
Yeah, but
granted, assuming it happened right after that,
they still have to have their outside.
Sure. Yeah.
But to travel to the moon takes time, so they had time. But it was like, it was weird.
Hey, Luke, shut the fuck up.
God damn it. All right. Are we done with that one? Next one?
I had the asteroid.
Fuck
that asteroid, man.
I put that asteroid.
I didn't want to go do the obvious. Yeah.
Fuck that asteroid, dude.
We need to change the name of this, but why I like Waterworld. Controversial hot take.
Yeah, I had one. Not super huge, maybe, but this is my second favorite Michael Bay movie. It's up there for me. It's my second favorite one.
What's your first favorite?
The Rock.
The Rock.
Oh, okay, there it is.
The Rock's a fucking blast. And again, I thought this was fun too. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm a big Bad Boys fan, but I think I definitely watch this more than I watch Bad Boys.
Is this, I get a nitpick?
It's a hot take. So
hot take?
Anything you want to say?
Anything I want to say?
Look,
why is there a Gatling gun on a space drill? Why is there a Gatling gun on a space drill? There's moments of this movie, and I know we're getting to a part where we're supposed to talk about like movies we would mix it with, but like there were certain parts of the movie where they're in the asteroid and they got the Gatling gun, and you hear these like whispers coming from the asteroid, and I'm like, are we going to see a xenomorph? Like, where's Ripley? Gatling gun? Why? Because Michael Bay.
Because Michael Bay and
America, man.
America, guns in space.
That's totally believable for me, man. I'm gonna be real.
I mean, you are the astronaut.
My hot take this week, after everything that's happened, is that I'm tempted to be on Team Asteroid.
That's not a hot take at all.
Yeah.
Well, actually, apparently, fucking it is.
Yeah,
apparently,
I think I share this opinion with a lot of people right now, but it's been a rough realization. I think a lot of us still feel lost and don't know what's going to happen. But if an asteroid came right now, I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't be, too downhearted about it. I'd kind of, be like, I'd go out and set up a lawn chair and watch it happen.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not arguing with you on that. That's I was actually a little sad when the asteroid blew up. Like that was my boy.
Maybe. Yeah,
So close.
So close. On to our Blue Velvet meets Blue's Clues.
You actually gave mine away. I had Armageddon meets Alien. And I want the film to play out in the exact same way until they are on the asteroid drilling. And then fucking out of nowhere, we get xenomorphs.
I wanted it so badly while watching it.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. It gets revealed to be a secret Alien sequel, and now the crew's got to face off against xenomorphs as they are still trying to drill.
What if it was an Alien versus Predator mashup? we get Predators and xenomorphs
Duking it out on the asteroid.
Duking it out on the asteroid. Mine is Armageddon, directed by Wes Anderson. And it turns out that it's nothing but an acid trip by Eli from the Royal Tenenbaums. That he has on the subway, and it's just that's how its book ended.
It should be a nice prequel to Asteroid City.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little out there. I'm gonna go a little wacky. I'm gonna say Armageddon mixed with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So it's a sentient asteroid. And it's on its way to destroy Earth. Okay. So they send Chris Pratt and his stepson Raccoon, only to get there to try and blow up the thing, only to realize that the asteroid's his dad. Drama, nothing but drama.
Yeah, I'd watch that. This brings us to our Here Comes Kanye interruption. Does anybody have any pluggables? Anything happening?
No. I've been, even before this last week, I've been frightened of the world and anxious and dealing with vertigo. I ain't doing shit.
Yeah, it's been rough.
You can find me, Brandon Wilson, on Instagram or TikTok as Grawlix the Clown, GRAWLIX the Clown. I don't put much clowning stuff anymore. I don't actually post much anything anymore except for like dumb little puns every now and then. But I'm there. I might post clown things eventually again.
As usual on the podcast, we have cards and still coming. Just my fault. I still haven't done it. The fucking drinks book. Yeah, more stuff. So stay tuned. This brings us to Do We Call Jules and Vincent, despite Bruce Willis being in this movie. Would you watch it again? Would you recommend it to someone who hasn't seen it?
I don't know. I've never really been a big Michael Bay fan. I'm realizing, actually, hearing all the movies that I forget. And even I think when this movie was out, I was working at a movie theater. That's probably why I don't remember. I'd kill it. I could do with a lot less Michael Bay in the world, but that's just me. That's just a personal problem. I'm working through it. I'm seeing a therapist. Sorry, Michael. Call me.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, don't apologize. That's what we're about, man.
Yeah.
I will apologize.
I'm going to let it live because it's still just innocuous garbage that's usually in the background. I turn it on and I don't pay attention to it 100%. I'll start doing something else just because I've always done that since it came out 25 fucking years ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it live as well, man. I had a fucking blast, and like I said, I watch it every now and then, and I will continue to. And yeah, if somebody tells me they haven't seen it, and I'm like, oh, you gotta watch Armageddon, dude. Grab a couple beers. You got 3 hours? Yeah, go watch Armageddon.
3 hours to hang out.
You could watch Return of the King, or you can watch Armageddon.
Oh, jeez.
You should watch Armageddon.
That brings us to our Sonic Death Monkey Top 5. This week, it's our top 5 personal list of groups or characters from films or anything, really, that you would alternately place up on the asteroid to save humanity. I'll go first with my number 5, which is the Hateful Eight ensemble.
Ooh.
The characters from the Hateful Eight, not the actors necessarily. Mm-hmm. But it would mostly just be fun to watch them, to shoot them up into space and watch them be baffled and bewildered at space, being the 1800s and all. And it wouldn't last long, but yeah, that's my number 5.
You're telling me there's a black man in space? For my number 5, I initially misunderstood the question, and I was sending somebody up to die.
That's what I just did.
But that is literally just my number 5 is like that, and then I immediately realized, oh wait, I think it's probably meant to be like to save, humanity. And I said, but fuck it, I'm going to leave that fifth person there to die. So they can be the Gruber character or somebody, Super random, but I don't know why it just immediately popped in my head. For my number 5, I have Kathy, played by Jennifer Connelly from a movie called House of Sand and Fog. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not.
No. And I had to look it up. I've only seen it one time, and it was like on demand or something, and it was like 2010 or something, but it actually came out in like 2003. So we could do it on the podcast because I've only seen that one time. And again, I apologize after we watched the movie. Maybe this was in my asshole, like, nihilistic teenager like phase that I just, was like, yeah, she's a fucking bitch, But I just remember fucking watching this movie, and Kathy's the dumbest fucking person in the entire world. What an idiot. She's the cause of everything that goes wrong in this fucking movie. Like, I remember sitting there screaming at this, like, yeah, just thinking, what an awful human being.
Talk about therapy. I think we've hit on something.
Yeah. So I would love to probably do that movie, but I haven't seen it since. Okay. So I could rewatch it and be like, oh, this poor girl, she went through all this trauma, and I just didn't know anything about trauma back in 2010, Right.
That's amazing.
But yeah.
I remember the name of it. I never watched it though.
Yeah, her and Ben Kingsley.
Okay.
But I think it's based off of a novel. But anyway, she can go die for now. I will revise that statement later.
Just out of it's funny because you mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger being up for the role event earlier. I'm going to send the Expendables.
Yeah,
let's get rid of all these old action stars while we're at it. We've got the genius. We got Dolph Lundgren, who is actually has the credentials,
right?
Yeah,
it's Arnold and Sly, and they're tough. They'll do it.
Jason Statham,
yeah, and of course you gotta throw Chuck Norris up there. Problem solved. World saved.
He just punches it.
Yeah, I think they'll throw him down the hole. And yet survives. Oddly enough, he stays behind to blow it all up, but it's Chuck Norris.
You could have Van Damme be the one that goes space dementia crazy.
There we go.
Doing the splits and shit.
Yeah, just doing splits everywhere.
The meteor starts cracking, just legs spread apart.
My number 4 is the police from Hot Fuzz.
Yeah,
I want them to succeed, but I think it would just be funny to have Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and all those characters be the non-astronauts that get sent up to work the drills.
Oh yeah. So you're telling me Harry Stamper and his guys are the best drillers on planet Earth?
Uh-oh.
I say no, sir. I say for my number 4, I have the boys from Holes.
Hell yeah.
Send Shia LaBeouf up there.
Yeah, dude. They know more about digging holes than anybody on this planet, man.
Yeah.
And with the power of friendship and teamwork, determination, love, and preordained family history, they're gonna do it,
I like that.
And maybe you can shave off a couple of years off their sentences, so.
I haven't watched it since it came out. I kind of want to watch it again.
That would be a fun one. I'd like to do that one.
Okay.
My number 4, bear with me now, because I may have interpreted this a little bit.
Everybody does all the time.
I am sending Harry Stamper, but he's got a new crew. We're sending with him John McClane, Corbin Dallas,
awesome,
David Dunn, and for comedic purposes, Hudson Hawk.
Yes.
It's a team of Bruce Willises, and they're going to save the day.
Fuck yes.
I mean, Corbin Dallas has experience with this, right? Like,
yeah,
the thing was coming to the planet to destroy everything. Like, John McClane is good at sneaking through small spaces.
He'll be the one on the guns.
There we go. Yeah. David Dunn, he's the muscle, right? Like, unbreakable. He's unbreakable. Like, he can take the damage.
Yeah.
And then, Hudson Hawk.
Ironically, the only one that survives.
One would hope.
That's the best answer. You won.
Awesome.
You won. Congratulations.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to our show, guys.
My number 3 is the gang of bank robbers from Point Break.
Yeah.
Plus Keanu.
Yeah.
And their crazy person is the Gary Busey. Basically just the same movie, but all those people swapped in.
I think he actually does have space dementia.
He's got something. He's got head meets concrete.
For my number 3, I have Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood. Again, man, that's, there's no oil driller like him, You get up there and, hey, he can if he knows there's a way to fucking monetize his name, right? The guy who saved the planet, he's going to do whatever it takes. He's going to bring his son up there with him and use him as, I
can see Daniel Day-Lewis poking the asteroid, giving him the milkshake speech. I drink your milkshake, Eli. Yeah, I can see him doing that. Nice. I like it.
I think for my next one, we're going to send Han Solo. I'm just rehashing a joke. We're going to send Han Solo, whoever the guy from those Michael Crichton movies that Harrison Ford played.
The president.
Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk. And Indiana Jones, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah, the Fantastic Fords.
Yeah, there you go. That's a winner right there.
Yeah. It's all just relying on Red
I'm gonna have
Hulk,
to make this
honestly.
movie poster now. That's our ad right there. That's the good. I love it. My number 2 is the research crew from The Thing.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And we've got, even in this movie, we've got what's his name, the general,
Keith David.
Keith David. Yes, thank you.
There we go.
The turn it into a get to the asteroid, and there's that weird thing that starts killing everybody.
My number 2, this is where I started to get serious. My number 2, I got Captain America.
Just Captain America.
Captain America. We're already sending America up, so
Yeah.
send Cap up there, and he's super strong, and he's gonna do whatever it takes to get the job done. And even if it, absolutely, he would stay back and detonate the thing. It's his thing. That's what he does. He'll probably be fine too.
So you're gonna crush it with America's ass.
There you go. Yeah. That's America's Asteroid.
Yeah.
My number 2, go Team Venture. I think Team Venture could take this on. I think Thaddeus Rusty Venture with his super science.
I think the asteroid wins though.
Not with Brock Sampson.
Oh, there you go.
Brock Sampson would help. But yeah, no, I think the Venture Brothers are...
I've just been rewatching all the Venture Brothers too. It's awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that show. It's my favorite show ever. That's
Same.
why when this question got asked, that was like the first thing that popped in my head. Like,
I have to keep myself from putting them in every episode. My number 1 is Ocean's 11. They totally pull one over on the inanimate asteroid, but they fail to save Earth because the real mark was us. And they just sail off onto their own planet and do their own thing.
My number 1, again, another selfless, self-sacrificer. We got the Iron Giant, baby. Superman. Kaboom.
Kaboom.
Asteroid taken care of. Done. That's it.
My number 1, I just totally copped out on this one. Honestly, most anticlimactic Michael Bay movie, One Punch Man. Oh, you got an asteroid? I'm going to go up there and have some fun. One punch, boom, end the movie.
Yeah.
Done.
I've got an hour before lunch.
Yeah. I'm a hero for fun.
Very nice. Well, if you're still listening, thank you for listening. That brings us to the end of our podcast. I have been Luke Loned.
I have been Javier Martinez.
I have been having to pee this whole time, Brandon Wilson.
I told you could go.
I didn't feel comfortable.
And we have been the Nostalgia Killers.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Boom.